What's going on, Bills Mafia? Welcome to a late show, 11:11. Make a wish. Happy victory. What's going on? Welcome to Buffalo Late Nights, or Buffalo Late Nights. Wow, I'm getting all mixed up. Buffalo Rumblings Postgame Call-in show. I am your host, Thomas DeLaus. Obviously, you saw us earlier on the halftime show. Maybe that'll be a thing going forward, but looked good. Looked good tonight, right? That was a really nice win. Big dubs, big dubs, big dubs, big dubs, right? A lot of stuff going on there. Really, really nice game. I think it was a nice bounce back game for Josh. Josh looked really confident, really strong. Didn't need to force the issue a lot. Didn't really need to go above and beyond in terms of the game plan. Things kind of just felt very easy, right? Felt very strong. Um, Side note, guys, if you guys want to, yeah, perfect. Thank you, Ian. Uh, Give me a call. All you got to do is click on that link. You don't have to be on video. You can just literally talk to me like you're talking to me on the phone. Tell me what you thought. Tell me about today's game. Probably going to go for about a half an hour because following me, we've got Joe Miller, the voice of the Overreaction post game show. So he'll be on following me at midnight. God bless his soul. I couldn't do it. That's too late. I got to work in the morning. I'm a mailman. I can't be up early. That being said, guys, a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously, we got to talk about All Pro Poyer, right? Guy's unbelievable, unbelievable. Jordan Poyer at this point, I don't know how you can't make. I don't know how the campaign of we need to re-sign him isn't absolutely at the front of every parade, right? Like that should be what we talk about. Jordan Poyer needs to get paid, just like when we were talking about the halftime show. Tremaine Edmonds has to get paid, right? Those two should be your absolute one and two main priorities heading into this offseason. Um, uh, the impact they have when they are on the field is undeniable. When Jordan Poyer has played, the Bills are 8-0 this season. That tells you everything you need to know. When he's not there, it's not the case, right? I'll tell you that and with like I said, Tremaine Edmonds, his ability to dictate the style of offense the other team can play, night and day. Night and day, right? Let's talk about Stephon Diggs. Let's talk about him. Let's break down Stephon Diggs today, right? Like, how much more does Stephon Diggs got to do to eventually, like, I mean, he's trending with his career to eventually be a Hall of Famer. I mean, the guy is he's unbelievable. Everything he does, every single game, it's so easy. And how many years did we clamor for a guy like Stephon Diggs? How many years? I mean, Stephon Diggs is everything that we have always wanted. I mean, we had back, Eric Molds and Andre Reed, right? He is so fantastic. He's so clean. Every catch he makes, it's just it's so seamless. So seamless, And that's what you need, right? You need that guy that Josh can go to, and that's what he does. That's the guy that Josh is absolutely implicitly confident that when he needs a catch, when he needs a 10-yard out, there you go. That's that guy. You know, right. He is unguardable. Truly. Truly. He is absolutely unbelievably unguardable. And Cam, I was literally, it took the words right out of my mouth. James Cook, I tweeted it, which by the way, I'd love for all of you guys to follow me at the Thomas DeLaus. I'd love to be able to have a conversation with you guys. You can find me on Twitter at the Thomas DeLaus, just like my name says here, right below me. I literally tweeted it out. James Cook is the new Cole Beasley. Point blank, period. What James Cook was able to do for Josh Allen in this game was make Josh's game that much more comfortable. And let's look. I'm going to bring up the stats real quick right now. I'm just going to move things around on me. Um, James Cook today, 14 for 69, 4.9 yards carry. Then in the receiving game, James Cook, 6 for 41 for 6.8. Not a ton of yards, right? Not a ton of yards, but what he did provide in that moment, he provided literally almost 7 yards a catch. That's what Beasley did, right? Josh literally looked in the flat. James Cook was there. He could dump off the pass. If things were imploding around him like they were, right? We saw Quessenberry start, and then they had Justin Murray, excuse me. And then we had Bobby Hart, which I think every Bills fan's heart sank into their stomach once they saw Bobby Hart come out there, right? And then obviously Spencer Brown has just been a huge liability. Well, James Cook allows that. It allows Josh to have a little bit more comfort in moments where he's not very comfortable, quite frankly. You know, I like that. I'll take Cook over Singletary. I think it's a good mix. That I think that's what they were trying to do with Singletary and Zach Moss. I think that's what they were trying to do, was have that thunder and lightning, right? Where you had a guy that could actually smash the ball down the middle, and Singletary was that kind of lightning bolt. But I think it's the other way around. I think Singletary is a nice change of pace back. Or not change of pace back. He's, he can do a little bit of the scat back stuff, but he can also, he could run between the tackles. Where James Cook, one cut gone. One cut gone. I mean, I believe he is one of these games. He's just going to bust loose a 60-yard touchdown, and he's just going to be gone. He is that absolutely explosive. But let's take a look at today's stats here, right? We're going to go over an overview real quick of the game. The Bills ended up with 360 yards of total offense comparison to the Patriots 242. Bills had 223 passing yards, 137 rushing yards. Pretty darn complimentary. 5 yards of play. Bills ended with 22 first downs comparison to the Patriots 14. They went 9 for 15 on third down efficiency. Pretty darn good, 60%. To the Patriots, 3 and 12. 3 and 12. They allowed 2 sacks. All things considered, that's pretty good. But Josh Allen's your quarterback. It makes it a little easier. 6 penalties, 52 yards. Total time of possession. Let's take a look at this. 38 minutes to 21. I'll tell you, I listened to a lot of people before this game. And the big thing that everybody was saying was the way the Patriots win is they need to win the time of possession, right? Limit Josh Allen's touches. How many times do people say that? Can we speak on that a little? Can we? How many times do people talk about limiting Josh Allen's possessions? How does that work out for you? Because as of this point, right, and a very easy day, I would say this was a very easy day for the Buffalo Bills. So much so that with 2 minutes left, the Patriots said, screw it, and just let him kneel down. Didn't even care, didn't even bother, wasn't even a worry, right? The game itself, for the most part, was in hand. Once the second half hit, it was over, right? We got Robbie in here real quick.
Sorry.
Robbie, what? You good?
Hey, Thomas, I'm here.
Hey, Robbie, what's going on, brother? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's awesome. What did you think about today's game?
I think today's game, I mean, it looked like our team was able to run the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, you saw, I would say, the real first glimpse of what James Cook can be. And I think what you also saw is the first glimpse of what this running offense can be. You have 2 very complimentary backs, 2 guys that I think Josh Allen can lean on. And I think, Bills fans, I think the one thing that I think a lot of us have said is it's not so much that we want more running than passing. What we want is complementary running, right? You want a running game that can benefit the offense or benefit the passing attack, right? So that if things aren't necessarily going, you can say, hey, James Cook, go run out there, give us 7 yards, make it a little easier for Josh to get that first down. That's what I think is important. I think that's what you saw today. What else do you think? What other things caught your eye, Robbie?
Well, just take less penalties.
Yeah, there was some definitely some pretty bad penalties in there for sure. A little concerning to say the least. But for the most part, this is one of the worst crews. It's I can't remember his name. It's Ed Hockley's son, whatever his name is, I don't remember. But the last couple times, the Bills are actually 0-2 against this referee's crew. So Not my favorite crew in the grand scheme of things, but some things that need to be cleaned up. But I mean, at the end of the day, when you've got as many injuries as the Bills do, unfortunately, penalties are bound to happen in those instances. So, Sean Hockley, thank you, Ian. But all things considered, yeah, at the end of the day, a couple penalties, 6 penalties, 52 yards, and a dub. I'll take it. What else you got for me, Robbie? Anything else?
I mean, I just like the idea that that you do like a call-in show, like where you let people talk to you and stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, this is something that we talked about a few weeks back, and Spence, Joe Miller, and myself kind of wanted to put it out there, and something that Joe Miller did a long time ago, and we're going to bring it back. So, but hey, Robbie, I truly appreciate it. For anybody who doesn't watch, Robbie does the 716 Sports Show. It's a podcast, and later I'll tweet it off from my Twitter. So, but Robbie, I appreciate you, and you have a good night, brother.
You too, buddy.
Okay, see you, bud. Back to what Victor was asking. Victor, in regards to the ejection, those are tough ones, right? I can see what the ref was saying. I mean, it was a pretty nasty hit. Did did the Patriots players sell the hit? For sure. I don't necessarily think he should have been ejected. I think it was a very bang play. I don't think it was targeting in the slightest bit. And I think so. I think you can tell by the player whether or not it was a targeting hit. And you could tell DeMar Hamlin was stunned when he was ejected. He does not seem like the player that he's not a thumper, right? Like he'll go up and, he'll play Jordan Poyer's role where he gets up on the line and, he'll take on the run, and he's really good at it. Had a bad play today. You saw against Marcus Jones. Unfortunately, it happened. I believe I'm saying his name. I can't even remember what the guy's name was. Marcus Jones. I was correct. Yeah. Which, by the way, that was the only big play Marcus Jones had. Granted, he's a defensive back, but all things considered, I just don't think it was a great one. I don't think it was the best ejection I've seen. I've seen some that were good, that were more, like the one against Green Bay. I think that was a little bit more apropos to the situation, but right, exactly, Jessica. Hamlin was in a no-win situation. Right. It's either what do you let him catch the touchdown? Like I guess it's one of those things where the NFL's trending to a situation where they're putting it in the position of the offense to kind of have the right of way. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. It's one of those bang ones. There's going to be other reffing crews that aren't going to call that, unfortunately, but that is one of those crews that is predicated on a lot of calls. So I don't know. It's unfortunate. Ian, what's going on?
Hey man, how's it going? I figured I'd just talk about, David Questenberry he made a couple mistakes tonight, but he played through injury. So can we just give it up for him, man? He made a few mistakes, but he played through a pretty nasty injury. You could see him limping across the field almost the entire game, honestly. I mean, Dawkins was out and somebody had to step up.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough thing right now. And you're seeing that across the board for the Bills is that there has been a litany of injuries, unfortunately, for the Buffalo Bills. It's been one of those, seasons where, well, not one of those, the season. The Bills have been pretty injury proof, I would say. They've been kind of, when you look at the NFL, they've been the head of the class in terms of injury prevention. For the longest time, people were saying that the performance center that they built, that was a reason, right? That was the reason behind why they were being, they were one of the healthiest teams in the NFL for 4 or 5 years. If it happens once, it could be a fluke. Twice, but it was like 4 years of just absolute, picture perfect health. And this year has not been that case. So yeah, for David Questenberry for, really kind of, playing through what is a very, very irritating injury. It looked like it was I believe it was his left ankle. It definitely seemed like it was irritating him, and it was pretty quickly into the game. I think it was like the second series that he was really in a rough spot. So yeah, definitely got to give it to him for sticking it out there, knowing what was on the line. And you see that a lot. I mean, Josh rolled his ankle early in the game, and he kept going no matter what. It was one of those games. And that's the thing is you see that, right? You see a lot of these games where players they'll kind of just get through it as much as they can. In regards to Jordan Phillips, this is the second time Jordan Phillips has been hurt diving. Second time that he has done it. I believe he did it against I think it was the Titans, if I remember correctly.
It was
in the
Titans,
season.
yeah.
Yep. He did that early in the season, and I think it was like it was an ankle sprain or something. I can't remember what he did.
I want to say it was a high ankle sprain.
Okay. And then this one was a shoulder injury. So lo and behold, Jordan Phillips needs to stop diving. That's what's got to happen. Unfortunately, that's one of those things. But yeah, anything else you got for me, E?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just really happy with how the defense played today. There's a couple holes that we need to shore up. I mean, we are kind of hurting missing Von Miller. That being said, with the amount of pressure we were able to get on Mac Jones today, missing Von Miller and then missing a few key points in our defense, it was pretty cool to see our defense finally being able to step up and really lay the hammer down while we're missing some key components. It's also good to see Tremaine Edmonds back. My God, was he good this game?
Right. Yeah, I mean that's the big thing with this defense, and you got to give a lot of credit to Leslie Frazier. What Leslie Frazier is able to do, and I mean we got to talk about this, fans, right? Like, Bills Mafia, we got to talk about Leslie Frazier. What Leslie Frazier has been able to do in terms of providing a level of consistency for this defense. I mean, it's one of those things where you can plug and play almost anybody into this defense besides Jaquan Johnson, right? You could plug almost anybody into this defense, and it's a well-oiled machine, right? How many injuries? I think I saw the other day somebody said out of the defense, only 4 guys have yet to be injured. 4. That's pretty daunting of a measure to try to find and script and just manipulate a defense to be as successful as they've been, and they are. They're the number 2 in DVOA for defense. Which, if you don't know what DVOA is, Aaron Schatz, Aaron Schatz is from it's Football Insider, I believe. I believe it's Football Insider. Ian will put it up on the screen, which I'm going to remove you out of here, Ian. Aaron Schatz, he created DVOA, and DVOA is basically like if you look at a statistic, it measures what that team did in regards to their stat. So, like, let's say it's a amount of rushing yards in a specific situation and how they measured up against a bunch of other teams in that exact same situation. So DVOA is a really cool statistic and being able to measure teams and how they look. And it gives you a more of a context to really games itself and how they look in regards to those games. I will say that Dane Jackson was a big issue. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I will say this, and I mentioned this to somebody. Part of me wonders, because he didn't struggle like this last year. Part of me wonders if the injury that he had happened to him early. Why am I saying the injury that he underwent early in the season, if that had something to do with it? Because when he got his neck snapped back like that, there's so many different optic or any nerves that go up to your brain and brain stems that come through your spine, that I wonder if his reaction time or if he's having issues cognitively since that injury that are now translating into his game, because it seems like he's not as reactive as he normally was from previous years. I don't know that for a fact. This is all just speculative in my behalf, but it just seems that from that injury, from that point, he's really struggled mightily. So, but you're right, Brian. I agree. I'm really glad we have Xavier Rhodes. It's nice. Trey looked good out there. He was definitely a little tentative, which obviously I think everybody kind of expected. Marcus, same thing. Right. Boogie was on fire. That's huge. That's another one. The fact that Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, you saw, AJ Epinesa with a big sack at the end of the game. The fact that they all stepped up with Vaughn being out is huge. Huge. That's what you wanted, right? You want those guys to step up when the rubber meets the road, and we need those people stepping up. By the way, guys, I want to hear from you. If there's anybody, if you don't have to get on camera, you don't have to actually, feel like I got to look at your face. Excuse me. But give me a call. Click on that link right there. It'll put you into the show, and you can tell me what you thought about the game. Who was the player of the game for you today? Who was the player that really was lacking? Why don't we talk about Mac Jones? Right? Obviously, we're Bills fans, but let's talk about Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a big liability for that team. You could tell from literally their get-go that it just was not working. It wasn't. Mac Jones was not going to win them that game. Everything had to go perfectly right for Mac Jones. And quite frankly, the only reason that Mac Jones even had a chance was that one play with Marcus Jones and Ramondre Stevenson. That's it. Thank you. I just got this thing. I love it. I love the new light. It's a Govee Glide. I wanted to add a little bit more, by the way, to make it a little bit more fun. Yeah, Diggs was a beast as always. I'll tell you, Stephon Diggs, and I know I keep going back to him. I think it's one of those things you have to. Stephon Diggs, who ended up with 7 receptions, 92 yards, and a touchdown, 13.1 yards a catch. Man, so far on this season, he has been absolutely lights out. He might have his best season as a Buffalo Bill because as of right now, right, Stephon Diggs, and let's bring it up real quick. Stephon Diggs' stats so far in his career, he had, I believe, his first year he had 1,300 yards with the Bills. Let's see. No, 1,500. Dear Lord, 1,500 yards the first year with the Bills. 127 receptions, 1,535 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So far this year, Stephon Diggs. So far through 12 games, right? The Bills are 9-3. Stephon Diggs has 84 catches, 1,110 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He is on a massive pace this year. He can break his personal record with Josh this year. He can break his touchdown record. He can break his yards record. Man, Diggs is lights out. Diggs is everything you've wanted, right? We've said it a million times. Say it a million times more. But I do got to say, there's a question mark, right? The one I want to talk about is, where is Gabe Davis, right? Gabe Davis today, 2 catches, 15 yards. Now, mind you, that one pass early in the game, if it had been in the right spot, if it was a little bit more inside, he would have caught it. But outside of that, Davis has been kind of just a ghost, right? And that was the guy that we really thought, like, hey, we needed him to step up going into the season. This is the guy that really we wanted to be that number 2 to get 6 to 8 catches a game. You're looking 60 to 80 catches a season, right? I don't know. Maybe he needs other pieces to keep the pressure off of him. I've said that. I've said that exact thing, Dave. I agree implicitly. I've said maybe getting OBJ is that thing. Which, by the way, can we talk about that? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. What do you guys think? You guys want OBJ? Do we want the 9-3 Buffalo Bills to add OBJ, another talented wide receiver? Because I do. I want as many weapons as possible. I don't even care, right? You're playing against the Chiefs. You're playing against the Dolphins. You're going to be playing against the 49ers potentially. Maybe the Cowboys. I want as much talent as humanly possible on this roster. Anything you give me. Anything you give me. If that means getting Odell Beckham, do it. Do it. I don't care. Don't bother me. The one thing I do want to say, though, and I think it's something that we need to talk about, is I want to see more of Nyheim Hines in the passing game. Didn't like him in the running game. Wasn't impressed. It's nothing against him. I think the scripting of the plays wasn't necessarily the best design. I don't think it really, the manufactured runs were not, or the manufactured yards weren't there. I think it was a lot of sweeps, which I don't think necessarily in the moment worked well, especially a sweep in a time where the offensive line is struggling mightily. Just doesn't seem to work. I don't think it just doesn't make sense. But you get him the ball in the flat, right? You get him a little dump off, kind of what you were doing to James Cook. That's what I think you should do. Have James Cook and Nyheim Hines out there. Have them both run. Whoever's open, dump it off to. And just keep doing it. Keep using their speed. You're going to break the guys down. And that's the other part about it, right? That's what you want to do, is tire these guys out. Who cares if you score in a minute? Who cares? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to bother is going to tire your defense out. But as long as your defense can continue to at least be competent, if you can keep scoring, Your advantage is that you're hoping they can't score too. That's my thing is if it just score, just keep going. Just keep going. Right. You're right, Jessica. They had him running east to west. Exactly. Got to get him going north to south. That's why you saw that one catch. That one catch for 21 yards. Bingo, bango, bongo. The guy was down the field real quick. Really, really quick. But I think if you get him involved in that type of offense, man, if you get him some just easy catches, manufacture some easy yards off a catch, he's going to be super, super impactful. I don't know how I didn't catch this. McCorkle or macaroni? Can't call him Mac like he's good. Yeah, I'll tell you, Mac Jones is an absolute mess. I do find it funny though. I remember Mac Jones rookie year. People were comparing him to Josh Allen, saying that Josh started off rough, like they do with every quarterback now. They use Josh Allen as the metric, which you can't do it. Josh Allen is just an anomaly in and of himself. It's just like you can't compare a quarterback to Pat Mahomes. Just can't do it. People try to do it with Tom Brady, like, oh, he's drafted in the 6th round. Yeah, let's see how that works out for you. I don't understand it. I never will. People make these weird assumptions based off of, just weird facts. But I'll tell you, this Bills defense that's the one thing I want to keep going back to, right? Matt Milano, another big game, made some really, really, really nice plays. And I know there's a ton of splash plays, but the problem is when you're playing a team that, quite frankly, are just not that good. That's what it tells you. There's just not a lot there, but when they do, when Matt Milano or Tremaine Edmonds or Jordan Poyer or Taron Johnson, right? Check Lawson made a couple plays. You saw, AJ Epinesa make that nice sack. Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, or Booby, I guess is what they called him. There's a lot of good stuff, man. This team is very, very deep. That's the best part about it, right? But we're gonna be closing up this show very, very quickly. It is 11:38. So if there's any last minute calls, anybody wants to pop in real quick and say anything in regards to today's game, tonight's game, wherever we're at. I don't even know. It's been a long week. There's a long day. I don't know about you guys. I don't know where you guys live. I live in Rochester. Man, the weather was freezing cold. I am a mailman, so I'm outside all day, and I was wiped out. I honestly don't even know how I made it to now 11:40 at night. I didn't think I was going to make it, but here we are. Here we are, 9-3. The 9-3 Buffalo Bills, presently sitting atop the AFC East, presently sitting atop the AFC. Where did you think we would be at this point? I'll tell you, where else would you want to be? Bills team is something else. If they keep this ascension up and they keep cleaning up some of the mistakes, you're talking about a team that is incredibly potent, right? I mean, 24 points in a very easy game. I don't even think the offense was clicking all that much. I mean, they made some nice things. It was a very easy going. It's just kind of take what the Patriots are giving you. I think that's one thing Josh did well tonight, right? And I think that's something that we were worried about is Josh was forcing a lot of things. Josh took everything they gave him, everything, and it worked. Dumping it off to James Cook multiple times. Same thing. He had 7 receptions, 5 receptions, 6 receptions, 1, 2, 1. That's huge. Just spreading the ball around evenly, getting a lot of touches, right? James Cook, Devin Singletary, 14 carries, 13 carries. Josh had 5. Naeem had 2. Spreading the ball around, taking what you can give them. Which, by the way, make sure that you tune in 11 o'clock, 20 minutes from now. Joe Miller, the voice, Joe Miller. It will be the Overreaction post-game show sponsored by the Market Dominator. I feel like I have to say that now. Joe Miller's been on my show so many times at this point. I feel like I have to say that. The other thing, make sure you guys tune in Monday nights. You'll see right behind me. I can inverse thing. My cousin Zach's better at that. Monday nights, we have Buffalo Late Night here on Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, 9:30 Eastern. Be sure to tune in with me. My brother's the producer, same producer for tonight. Love to see you. Last week, we had Jerry Ostrowski and John Fina. you can go in and you actually check out all the previous content. We've had some fantastic guests, really awesome people over the last like 5 or 6 months. But it's now 11:41. Let's call this thing. I know you guys are all tired. I'm tired. If you stay up for Joe, do it. Joe's a great guy. He's gonna have a good show. I'm sure he's gonna be lively. I don't know how he does it with 2 daughters and everything that he's so busy with, but make sure you stop in with him, give him a holler, tell him I said hello. But guys, I truly appreciate you stopping into the Buffalo Rumblings. But I say it all the time when we keep messing this up. Buffalo Rumblings post-game call-in show. We will have this. Potentially, we'll do that halftime thing that we did today going forward. I kind of like that. If you guys like that, make sure you let me know, whether it's in the comments or shoot me, a tweet. Go ahead, if you are watching, hit me up with a follow on Twitter at the Thomas DeLaus. I'd love to talk to all of you guys. Love the season, man. One thing I want to tell you guys, and I've said it before and I'll say it again: enjoy this. Enjoy this, right? This goes by fast, man. It's fleeting. But we're already deep into the season, and it's going by quick. Enjoy the ride that we're on. This team is special. This game, these games that we're watching every week. This team is so special. I know it's frustrating. They make dumb mistakes sometimes, and things happen, and it's an unfortunate scenario. But enjoy the ride. This team is very, very special, and one day these guys will be gone. So enjoy it while you have it. Enjoy it while they're on the TV, and that you can go to these games and whatnot. But hey, as always, I said, like I said, I appreciate you guys stopping in tonight to the Buffalo Rumblings postgame show. I'm never going to get that right. Make sure to stop in Monday night to come see Buffalo Late Night, and we will see you guys all soon. We're going to start this just like we finish it all the other times. Go Bills.